Hey guys, welcome back. It's Grim Reaper coming at you for another video for Raidshadowlegends. Hopefully doing well, and hopefully having this fantastic start to the week wherever you are in the world. Sea vs Sea kicks off tomorrow, and we got some juicy rewards in Sea vs Sea. Special surprise for everyone. Anyway, hopefully you're doing well, and hopefully you had a fantastic weekend with the 2x mythicals. Hopefully you got some new red toys. I didn't actually open any shards on my account in the end, just didn't feel lucky enough, or just don't have enough shards anyway to go for it. I only had like 48 or something, and I needed a bit of luck, so I saved for the next one. Let's have a look at Sea vs Sea. Today's video won't be about Sea vs Sea, but we will get into it shortly. So all the extra rewards they gave us was relic materials, which is to do with the clan stuff, with the clan shop, which is a bit interesting because you don't even have one full summon even of rares. So good job, Raid. That's sarcasm, by the way. Anyway, let's get into today's video. So today's video, we're on Edwin's account, obviously, and I wanted to do a full champion showcase on a champion who recently got buffed, and I know a lot of you guys would have pulled him over the weekends, and I really wanted to kind of share some light on him. And he was probably one of the worst mythicals in the game, but obviously we all know who I'm on about because there's only one that's been recently buffed, and we're on about CALAMITUS. Now, CALAMITUS was a good champion before this. He just wasn't at mythical standards. Now he is at mythical standards, which is great, and I wanted to showcase him in 3 areas, which I think would be his best spots, which would be HYDRA, Chimera, and maybe even Arena. So we'll have a little play with him in the arena and see what he can do as well with that. So remember, if this is a type of content that you like, then make sure that you hit that thumbs up and hit that subscribe bell and that hit that notification button as well. So every time a video will go live, you'll always get that ping straight over to you from YouTube. Anyway, so yeah, looking very, very like a juicy champion. Let me know down in the comments, did you get any mythicals and what mythical champions did you get? So let's go on with the champion showcase. I wanted to highlight, I'm not going to go through his whole kit, we all know his kit anyway. Wanted to highlight a couple of areas. So I think this one on his first form is going to be fantastic for Chimera. It's a single boss. Block boss is very good on the Unity form, but it's also very good on any of the other forms. Defense down weaken allows you obviously to do more damage, and then decreased speed is always fantastic as well. He only needs 80%. This can be resisted though quite often, or 3%ed, because it's a 3% per hit, so that could be a bit annoying. But this is fantastic for Chimera. It's on a 3-turn cooldown. It can ignore some resistance as well. I can do some damage as well. So that's one thing we want to shout out there. Obviously, his kit only needs 80% crit right now, which is fantastic. And then I wanted to shout out this area with the defense down and hex, and this AoE here, which is hitting really, really hard. And this is looking really good for HYDRA. So there are the areas, and I think this will be a very interesting ability to use in the arena, maybe even live arena, lower level, etc., because it's ignoring quite a lot of ignored defense if they're under hex. So it could definitely do some damage. Polymorph is probably one factor, but bearing in mind he's a mythical, he's immune to lockout already, and he can flip. And then the other downside of him is the affinity right now, which is probably the downside of that. But maybe an option against a new champion as well, which is looking pretty OP, which is her. So it could be an option there. So let's get into today's showcase. We're going to start off in Chimera. We're going to use the whole build throughout the same of this. So we're going to go to Chimera, and we're going to go to Ultra Nightmare. Thank God Edwin hasn't run its keys, and I wanted to do this. So we're going to go for only to level 5, turn 5 on this. We're going to go to Ram, we'll stop, and then we'll try something else out as well, because I want to showcase him as a support, or like a secondary nuker, and then him as a main nuker as well. So I wanted to kind of show what I would probably do. Now I don't think this is the ideal team by far for him. There's definitely going to be better combinations out there. So that's one thing I want you guys to take into consideration for today's video. That we're just trying to show his raw damage, and also, as you can see, what stone skin here on Marius. So he's not actually in. Marius is not in his full build at the moment, which is fine as well. So we're going to start off with this, and we'll do what we need to, and then we're going to play this ability 10,436. Won't do a lot of damage because he doesn't have attack up. But you can see he put some numbers out, right? It was not too bad. And then Marius can come in and do his nuke. You can maybe use Ninja. You could use someone else as well, like I guess Gnut or something like that, depending what you got in your account. For me, it'd be Marius or even Toshima. You could try Toshi with him as well. Toshi brings some utility as well. So that will start off with that. And this will be a little bit RNG because of like reflex and etc. as well. So that's one thing we need to take into consideration. And I guess we can flip them because we have the defense down a weaken, down for long enough. We haven't got the weaken out for very long, but that's fine. And then we can do our stuff. So again, we should actually play the A3 because if he's under hex, we ignore a bit more, ignore defense, but that's generally fine. And then we'll kind of showcase this throughout. So we got big damage numbers coming in already. Not like crazy damage, but we can definitely make this work. And you guys might not have like champions like Marius or Toshi or whatever. You might just have like this one dude. There's probably a lot of you out there, even with lower level difficulties. I think he'd be a fantastic option. It's a shame we don't have a great haul yet. I think when we do have a great haul for Chimera, he's going to be one of the main damage dealers in the game because of the raw damage that I'm seeing right now. There's 172 on the A1, which is great to see. And then we'll allow everything else to come through here. And then his main job is to be support, but we can flip him to be DPS as well, which is a fantastic option. And I think he'd be great to play together. Now, at the moment, Marius is not hitting very well, and obviously I made a mistake there. Should have block buffs on us to protect me against his A1, which is really, really annoying. But, you know, it's hey-ho, we're just trying to showcase the damage. We're going to flip because we have no weaken. So we will put them back out. And you can see the numbers there already. He's got very good multipliers on both forms, which is fantastic. So if you wanted more for Chimera, you're booking the first form first. If you wanted more for Hydra, you're booking that second form first, depending on what's on your account. Like, not everyone has the champions in the world. Definitely can do some work for sure. And then we'll test out as A3. So we're at 8 million and 8.959. You can see there we did a chunk. Now, he's not doing Marius numbers, but that's because of the ignore defense. If they add the ignore defense to the Great Hall, he's going to do bigger numbers than Marius, guaranteed. And then we'll showcase him in Hydra. So we must have got, it must have wear off the defense down a weaken, which is fine. And you can see there we got 3%ed on the weaken. So it's just is what it is. Typical. I ran this before the video to make sure everything worked. As one of the ones, probably don't have enough accuracy on him as well, which is probably one thing I should have updated because I built it for Hydra first, and this does require a bit more accuracy. So it might not be 3%, it might just be Grimmy being a bit of a dum-dum. So we play this, which is 200, nice. Now we want the weaken first because if the not weaken, we want the hex first because then A2 will do way more damage on the CALAMITUS if we get to flip. Okay, so we don't get to flip, but it is what it is. We're at 11 million.4, so we're just going to go ahead and end it. We'll let the Ram do his thing. Ram is my favorite form in Chimera. And you see here, like, 5 million coming in from Marius, which is not great, but, you know, you could definitely do better. And then this is not his original Chimera build. He's in his live arena build right now. And then you got CALAMITUS coming in with 3.9 million as well. So let's go ahead and do a change here. And we're actually going to flip in Lydia now. And we're just going to showcase him as the main damage dealer because you might not have a Gnut. You might not have anyone really other than Ninja potentially, and I think he has a bit more potential than Ninja. In a couple of rotations anyway. So again, we'll showcase him here as well, which I think will be a good spot for him. And then we can play him a bit different. See his damage numbers come out. And then we're going to play that decrease speed. Now we're not going to focus on his form 2, his first form. We're going to focus on form 2 this time. And we're not going to be worrying about flipping him in or out. We're just going to be worried about playing his numbers. So we'll put the hex out first because you know that A2 will do more damage under hex. That will help you in a couple of trials as well, like on a ram form where you need increased accuracy. If you can afford to bring increased accuracy somewhere, would be quite useful. Now this team does, with Marius, does about 14 to 15 trials on Ultra Nightmare. I will drop the video down for this team in the links. You guys could go check that out. It's on my account for that one, so it shows all the builds and everything for this team, as you see. So we're at 1.4. We should do about 500,000 damage. Okay, we just done over 500,000 damage, which is great. And we've got the relic that needs more time to do more damage. So he's got the crown relic on. You could test it between Cat Gaze, etc. I don't want to move Cat Gaze around Edward's account because it's very expensive to move around, like 360. So there and back would be very costly for him, which unfortunately is what it is. And then we allow him to do his stuff. And then obviously as well, you could drop the accuracy and just go full out raw damage as well. That's another option, which would allow him to do way bigger numbers. We don't have the best merciless gear as well for the Taknuka, so that's also something to take into consideration. We'll play the A1, 340k just on A1 now, which is pretty nice. And now we just gotta wait to come back round with this ability. So you can see here he's already putting out some fairly decent numbers. Like, it's nothing crazy, but if you have nothing better, he can definitely fit in, which is great because he wasn't able to do this before the video, right? So we had no defense down or anything there, and he did 189, which is fantastic. And then we'll hopefully come back round again. There we are. 300k. Again, not like crazy numbers, but definitely doing some work. You could definitely get a 1 key with this dude, because his damage is just going to get stronger throughout the run. Now, if Red Dutch's attack up, he would be doing a bit more damage, which we're going to see in a minute. If you're going to use, I don't think Cardia's the best with him, but you could lower his critical damage even more to make sure he does that. So this time we're going to decrease attack by 7 million. He did 357k. Nice. We're not being very careful with lining up the increase attack with the 2 nukes as well, like the A3 and A2. So that's something you could probably do a lot better than me. But you can see here, like by turn 5, it's not actually too bad. He's doable for 1 key. It's over 1 key, really. And then we'll play this ability, 450k. And again, his damage will only go up throughout the run because of his relic as well, which will showcase once I show the build as well, which is pretty nice. Again, at the moment, he's not Tushilero. There's ways that you can increase his damage, like using someone with like a passive ability like Bad Alcazar to increase his damage. The other guy from Silver Watchers, which get used in the arena. So we're at the moment we're on about 9 million. This team in total, I think, is around about 21 by turn 5 if you use a 9-piece Merciless on the Marius. So it can kind of tell you what how strong enemy max HP is right now in the arena, unless you got insane gear and empowerment. So let me go ahead and pull up the HYDRA results, which we'll talk about as well. And then we will go through that, and then we'll go through arena, and then we'll talk about if we want to use an arena. And we'll talk about the best ways to build it for that as well, to cover that as well. So yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at the HYDRA team. Alrighty, so we have the HYDRA team here. Did hit the quit battles, and we're just gonna take a look. I wanted to see how consistent the teams was for quit battles as well, because I want Edwin to be able to see this, and hopefully he has a new nightmare team available. I think this team could do roughly around about 1 billion on Ultra Nightmare if he runs it from the start. It gets good RNG, or maybe even mangles it, get a bit more damage as well, which is fantastic. But for today, we're just going to do the quick battles because I don't want to talk about HYDRA. I don't want this video to be 1 hour long. So we're just going to go ahead and do the quick battles. And then most of you guys, anyway, are looking to do the quick battles now, and I definitely don't. That doesn't surprise me. So we went up to about 600 or something like that. Let me just check again what number it was at. So about 750. We was missing around about 250 turns overall, and we hit a impressive 678 million damage. And then I did try it a few more times as well because I wanted to see how consistent it was, to see if it was just one in a blue moon. And as you can see there, that we did way less. And then we'll see here as well how much damage this will do here. Which obviously I already know the results. It did last nearly to 1000, but it looked like Comnus died, which is a bit annoying. But TX coming in with 274 million, which is really, really impressive. We obviously know that TX is one of the best when it comes to HYDRA other than Trunda. So we run it again all the way, and we can have a look at the numbers coming through. So we can see here 369 million damage coming out from him, which is like super impressive. And again, I don't think we went to the full turn, if I'm not mistaken. So it went to roughly about 740. And then we can go to the first one as well, which you see in Clomnus do 405 million damage. So there is definitely much better damage to come from this team, and it is crazy his numbers for HYDRA, which is fantastic to see. You can definitely do some damage. Now, you could try crushing Rem. I think natural Wraith is just going to be way better and consistent. We've got cruelty on other champions, which right now that the team is not being optimized because we're well over the top for cruelty. So there's definitely like timid presence that could come in for someone, right, and increase his attack aura, which could increase attack even more. His build is not like crazy as well, so his attack could be a lot better as well. So let's go ahead and play with him in the arena. So let's go ahead and take him into the arena and see what we can do here. We're not very high in the arena, unfortunately. I've just been not had time to level him up, and I don't want to use a ton of gems on someone's account. He hasn't got like a ton of gems, he's got like 9,000 gems. So unfortunately, we won't be able to do like a full accurate one, but we can definitely test him against some half decent teams, and potentially he can be a nuker for like potentially a lot of people. So let's go ahead and see if we can find a tankish team. So we have like, okay, this team is not amazing, but we will have shields from Chris, right? And he doesn't ignore shields, so that's something that we can test as well. This is again probably not the most optimized team as well, but we can see that we have shields here, which is great. I'm probably missing gear on app bias by the looks of this, because my app bias is normally faster. So I guess we will test out the A3 first. Now this will be like his arena damage test. I think this is way better to do damage tests than taking him into Dragon, doing a defense down, etc. And this will be my way of kind of doing damage tests from the future, because we can kind of compare, right? So let's go ahead and let's have a look at that. We have 100 and about 150 coming out there, which is fantastic. We obviously got the unkillable for us, which is great for survivability, and that was through a shield. So again, we can come in, do the same team, and we'll take it from there as well. Yeah, Abias missing gear, no surprise. So and then we can have a look at that. One should really re-gear our bias as well. You do want him in speed teams, so I think because he's tap based, you'll need to be fast to use him. So that's one thing to kind of take into consideration. But then we're going to flip here. And then we're going to test the A3 for this. See what we can do. 250 to about 400 on Far Lifebane, I think it was, which is pretty good numbers overall. And then again, we'll test him again. I don't want to drop to gold 4, but it looks like Sigfrid's also missing gear as well. And then let me go ahead and go and test him again. We will kill the team this time, so we don't lose too many points. We'll flip into here. Let me know down in the comments if you like me doing damage tests this way instead of the other way. Let me know. I'm kind of interested on the feedback there. Okay, numbers not like super impressive, but bear in mind here we ignore 30% target defense with that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go and re-gear everyone and gear the team properly, and then we're going to have a look at some teams and hopefully find some better teams to kind of take on and show you what the kind of teams that I'd originally probably like building with, right, and using with for sure. Alright guys, we are back. I've rebuilt the team and made some adjustments. So this is a team we're going to use. I'm just going to drop him and bring in a Mariska. So we got double 2 meter boost here. We have the armbands here, so you can go like Arbiter and then another 2 meter boost champion, whatever you got, Gorgo, whatever. So you can do that. There's a perfect replacement for this. I'm just using champions I already got built. Everyone should have armads. Most people anyway. He was a fusion champion, but you could use the new lockout champion that's going to be available from today. Hopefully you guys do that fusion, and then yeah, he's going to be a Spirit Nuka. This is a good team for him. I want to see how he kind of does against Star Sage, because Star Sage should really, if I'm being honest, kind of flip him, rip him apart. So this should be one of them really. So we could like try and hit the 4-hitter into his passive. I think we might try that, which could be quite interesting because of his passive. Yeah, so we can definitely do some numbers on him there, which is an option. It's kind of just fun watching him just go like nuke, just be like that, which is kind of cool. I guess we'll just bring the Terminator through. It's not going to be the most ideal way to use him, to be honest, but it's definitely one of the options. So it looks like, oh, he has a increased attack on his shield, which is even better because that means you don't need increased attack with him. He can do it himself. Unfortunately, I don't think he does it in this form. No, he doesn't. But you can play the AoE there, and it's 1 white clean. All right, guys. So we're back here, and we've kind of put like a team together. I've used champions that are already built on their account. So again, if you're going to use a team similar with him, you could use someone like Arbiter for the Shazam, and then the 2 meter boost, which could be a Seeker or anything like that, depending on what you got. And then you got CC champion like Armance. He was a fusion. You could use the new champion that's going to be available, which would be the lockout champion, and etc. So we're going to go ahead and take this team on. I want to hopefully leave Duchess alive because I want to showcase the A2 with the before and after. So we're going to flip here. It's going to go straight in. I've noticed as well, he has an increased attack and shield on this ability, which is super sweet because champions that increase their own damage, plus he's already got that 20% mitigation in all of his skills. That means he's getting a critical rate buff basically and an increased attack on his own, which means you can play over 10-meter boosts like Freya, for example, and can do his increase his own damage from that. So let's take a look on his second form. So again, I would only really tend to use him if you've got no one else to use. But you could also, if you're getting locked out, for example, you're up against a Yumiko and Warlord, the new fusion champion, is going to have the option to flip as a metamorph, as a fusion, as a mythical, and really offer you to a counter to a lockout. A lot of people use lockout. So we're going to do this ability here. We're going to slow this down. This is going to be the damage test for this. And we're going to do like a before and after. So we had 109 on Duchess. We do weak hit there, which is great, which means we can come back in and kind of see what's going on there as well. Now, yes, we lost the fight, but you know, we're just kind of comparing on what we can get. I'm hoping that we can stay alive long enough to compare the damage. Now, the defense down and weaken will also increase its damage, but the hex will also allow him to ignore 30% target defense on the A2 instead of 20% ignore defense. So that's one thing to kind of take into consideration. We did 230 there, which is a option, but then Duchess didn't survive, so there's not much I can really do about that. But you guys can kind of see it's going to do way more damage with that. We can take on something like this. It's got a Python. Python could be quite interesting. He can definitely do some work against UDK as well, especially if we have a way to get rid of that stone skin. So we can see here we have a multi-macabre. Let's see what we can do. I don't think he's going to be breaking stone skin. Unfortunately, it would be kind of cool to see. I mean, we did take the stone skin halfway on a Mortu. Honestly, that's not too shabby. We're going to go ahead and sheep him. And then we'll play this ability here. Play this here. And then we'll play that, which is kind of cool. And then for his big ability there, we can see he did 245 on the sheep for that, which is kind of cool. And then we'll hopefully be able to sheep this guy in a second. Yeah, there we are. We can do the A1, 120, ignore some defense. We'll do a big clap here, 351. Ideally attack with that, but he doesn't want to do it, so it's just fine. And then we can clean up the UDK in a second. I think also Form 1 might have some niche purposes as well for Arena. Like the multi-hit is pretty strong against like a Star Sage. Especially if it's not in Stone Skin. Okay, so yeah, pretty decent numbers. Would he be my first pick as a Arena nuker? No, there's definitely better out there. But him being a mythical and having a lot of utility against and advantages against lockout, I definitely think there's definitely some numbers there that we can push in. So I guess that's it for the Arena side. Let's go take a look at the side of the take a look at the side of the builds and what I'd recommend for Arena, for blessings or relics, and then we'll have a look for this PvE, where it's going to be his main focus will be Hydra and Chimera for sure. All right then, so this is his build that we was using throughout the PvE. Now for Arena, I'd probably go like a 4-piece ignore defense and 4-piece savage for the way to go to build him. Just bear in mind he only needs 80% critical rate, and I think that's the way to go. Minimum speed for Arena 250. If you can get to 300, depending on your gear and your account. I would like to think if you can get towards 300 though, with really good damage, you probably already got better already. So let me go ahead and show you the stats for Hydra. Hydra's coming in with 6,500. The speed is coming in at 276. Critical rate is coming in. Sorry, let me switch to the other form. Actually, it doesn't change, which is fine. Critical damage just under 400. Accuracy is coming in at 445. For Chimera, you need to push these numbers up a bit more towards the 500 mark. Just take that into consideration, especially if you want to use him in his form 2. If you don't want to use him for form 2, maybe just put a hex set on like a Lydia, for example, so you can benefit from an increased damage on the second form on the A2, right? Because you're going to get that 15% extra ignore defense. And one thing I can tell you about Chimera is really important to have the extra ignore defense for sure. That's why the Great Hall would be such a beneficial for champions like Ninja and Calamitous and all these people that can hit hard, Carnage, etc. would be better than any max HP for most people for in-game purposes. But we haven't got it yet, so it is what it is. So that's where you really want to focus on. For Chimera, obviously, it will be a little bit less. So we can go ahead and just show you what these stats are here without that. And then I guess it's just accuracy or attack, depending on the content, critical damage, attack amulet, and then we've got speed boots, attack chest, and critical damage gloves. And then we're looking for speed, critical rate, at critical damage, and attack percentage along the top, and for the ascension as well. For the relic, we did come in with the crown, which would give us a additional damage as well. So over a long period of time, like Chimera and Hydra, he will start doing a bit more damage as well to the relic. Now for gemstones, we can use something like Boss Slayer, which I didn't actually know that Edwin got until recently. So that is going to be really cool to kind of use. We probably will go ahead and actually equip that now, which would be super, super cool. And then for something like gemstone, because I know Edwin will carry on using this, we'll just use this one for that because he's going to have accuracy for Hydra, which we're going to do. I think Natural Wraith is the way to go. You could try Crush and Rem and see what best numbers you get. And these are the masteries as well coming in for this. I think Master Hex is super important. We've got Ham Smasher behind me as well with the Cycle of Violence and Life Drinker to help his healing up already. You can test him if he needs a Life Drinker or not. I'm not too sure. Most likely he might not need it because he has got a healing factor in his kit as well. So I guess that's it for today's showcase. Hopefully you enjoyed this. I really, really enjoyed it. He's definitely S tier now. I think he's S tier in Hydra for sure. He can do some crazy numbers in there. I think Chimera is only a matter of time until people unlock his full potential for that as well. And he's going to have some use in the arena, probably for lower level of arena, like lower level silver, lower level gold tiers, depending on the right teams. You can pair him with like a bomb champion to get rid of stone skin, or HV burn champion like a Sophorion or Gizmak or a Valkanus potentially to kind of make him work in live arena. Definitely got some potential for gold 5 arena. Definitely got some potential in 3vs3 lower levels, and could be a interesting one for siege as well, for like all dead as well. I guess that's it for the video. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe. I've been Grim. Hopefully you enjoy this. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.